Hi guys, today we're going to look at 8.1 circles and circumference notes. So why are we learning about circles and composite figures? We need to understanding how to calculate the area and perimeter or circumference of circles and compound shapes plays a vital role in some of our everyday functions. Our I can statement, I can describe a circle in terms of radius and diameter, understand the concept of pi, and find circumferences of circles and perimeters of semicircles. Circle, the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a point called the center. Radius, the distance from the center to any point on the circle. And diameter, the distance across the circle through the center. Okay, so let's take a look at our picture here. We have a circle. We have our center point given to us. So we are going to fill in what we have, what the rest of the parts of a circle are. So the outer, we're just going to label this circle because it's indicating that outside part. Our green arrow over here is pointing to the line that goes all the way through the center from one side to the other. That is the diameter. And then the red over here on the left, that is going from the center to any part or any point on the circle. That is the radius. All right, the diameter, we use the letter D to represent diameter. The diameter of a circle is twice the radius. So we would have the diameter equals 2r, or twice the radius. The radius of a circle is 1/2 the diameter. So the radius equals 1/2 the diameter. So diameter divided by 2, or you may see equals 1/2 times the diameter. All right, let's look at our first example. It says the diameter of a circle is 20 feet. We need to find the radius. So to go from diameter to radius, I want to find the radius. That's what's missing. So I'm going to use this formula over here. So radius equals 1/2 the diameter. So the diameter is all the way across. It is 20 feet. I want to take 1/2 of that, and that's going to give me 10 feet. So my radius equals 10 feet. Here I have a radius given, so from the center point to any point on the edge, that is 7 meters long. So the radius equals 7. So I need to find the diameter. Diameter is twice the radius. So I need to do 2 times 7. So it's going to give me 14. Go ahead and pause the video and try the next two. Try on your own. Our circumference. Circumference is the distance around a circle. So we know the distance around other shapes is called the perimeter. Circumference is essentially the same thing. It's just a different word for it. So instead of calling it perimeter, we call it circumference. But just know that the perimeter is the circumference of a circle. All right, so pi, that's how we say this. Pi is pi, and that's the symbol that we use. The ratio, and I'm going to write this in here, of circumference over diameter is the same for every circle, and it's represented by the Greek letter pi. So when we use pi, we know it's a comparison of circumference to diameter. The value of pi can be approximated as 3.14, or we can use the fraction 22/7. Our circumference formula, we have two of them that we can use. So circumference equals diameter times pi, or we could say 2 pi r. And the reason we can say that is because, remember, diameter equals twice the radius. So instead of the diameter being there, we would just place the 2 and the r in place of the diameter. So you may see it written 2r times pi as well. Remember, we can switch things around when we are multiplying or adding things together. All right, so let's look at our example 2. It says find the circumference of the flying disc. So the flying disc has a 5-inch, and this is the radius, so from the center point to the outside. So our radius equals 5. I'm going to actually find the diameter as well. So to go from radius to diameter, we multiply by 2. So we get 10 for the diameter. Our circumference formula, whichever one you would prefer to use, I prefer to use diameter times pi. So I'm going to take 10 times pi. Now, because I have 10 pi, that is actually an exact answer. The exact answer works in a lot of cases. If you want to use a rounded answer, in this case, that's what we're going to do. We have 3.14, so that's what we're going to use for pi. So when I multiply 10 times 3.14, I get 31.4 inches. The next one, it says find the circumference of the watch. So here I have diameter all the way across. I'm going to find my radius just because we're still working on that. So if it says diameter is 28 millimeters, half of that is 14. That's my radius. So my circumference, I'm going to use the 28 times pi. And in this case, it says to use 22/7 for pi. So I'm going to take 28 times 22/7. And that is going to give me 88 millimeters. All right, go ahead and pause the video and try the next 3 on your own. Sorry about the cutoff on this example. The only piece of information that we actually need from this over here that has been cut off is that this circle caution tape, the caution tape roll, it should say 31.4 inches. If yours does not say that, just make sure you write that down. So it says the circumference of the roll of caution tape decreases 10.5 inches after a construction worker uses some of the tape. Which is the best estimate of the diameter of the roll after the decrease? So I'm taking my 31.4 inches and I'm going to decrease it, the 10.5. So that gives me 20.9 inches. Okay, I know my circumference formula is diameter times pi. So if my circumference is 20.9, and I set that equal to the diameter times pi, and again, pi can be used. We can use 3.14 for pi, which we're going to use in this case. If I divide both sides by that pi, when I do 20.9 divided by 3.14, the diameter is going to be approximately 6.7 inches. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try the next try on your own. Example 4, finding the perimeter of a semicircular region. Okay, so we know that the perimeter is around the outside. Well, we've used the word circumference for around the circular part. Okay, so this is our circumference. However, as you notice, the rest of our circle is not there. So what has happened is we've actually used a straight edge to go straight across to create that half circle or semicircle. So we want to find the perimeter of the circular region. So I know the circumference is diameter times pi. And remember, circumference is just the perimeter of a circle. So in this case, my diameter would be the distance across even the half circle. So my diameter is 6. So I'm going to have 6 times pi, but I don't have a full circle. I have half of a circle, so I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so in this case, I would get 3 pi. Okay, and 3 pi is not the final answer, because if I actually look at this, okay, I don't have this here, but if I just took the semicircular area that I did, I only have this opening right here. So I only have this left right here. Well, if this was, let's say, for example, a backyard, if this were a backyard, I would want to enclose my backyard so my dog does not escape. So I want to add this straight edge to it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to add 6 to it because that's the distance. So 6 meters. So 3 times pi plus 6 is going to give me the 15.42 meters that I would need for the distance around this half circle and the distance across our straight edge for the half part of our semicircle. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try the next 3 on your own.